In 1832, a French pastry chef named Monsieur Remontel was running a small bakery in Tacubaya, just outside Mexico City. He was famous locally for his cream puffs. Life was decent until one night a group of drunk Mexican army officers showed up and completely trashed his shop. They ate everything. They looted the supplies. They destroyed the place and left without paying a single peso. Remontel was furious. He went to the Mexican government and demanded compensation. The Mexican government, which was in the middle of approximately its 15th political crisis of the decade, told him to get lost. So Remontel did what any reasonable person would do in this situation. He wrote a letter directly to the King of France. Now here is where this story starts getting out of hand. Remontel told the king that his losses from the bakery incident amounted to 60,000 pesos. His entire bakery, for context, was valued at less than 1,000 pesos. He had inflated his claim by around 60 times the actual damage. But the French king, Louis Philippe, didn't question it. Because France had already been receiving complaints from other French citizens in Mexico for years, merchants and businessmen who had lost property and money during Mexico's constant political upheavals. The bakery became the symbol of all of it. France added up every French citizen's claim it could find, threw in some unpaid debts from the Texas Revolution, and presented Mexico with a total bill of 600,000 pesos, 10 times what Remontel had even asked for. Mexico's president at the time looked at this bill and said no. France sent Baron de Faudis with 10 warships and a new ultimatum: pay the 600,000 pesos by April 15, 1838, or face consequences. Mexico's president looked at 10 warships and still said no. France made good on its threat. The French Navy blockaded the entire Gulf Coast of Mexico, cutting off the country's most important ports and strangling trade. Ships couldn't get in or out. Months passed. Mexico still refused to pay. So in November 1838, the French Navy opened fire on the fortress of San Juan de Ulua in Veracruz. The bombardment was so intense that the Mexican garrison surrendered within hours. French forces occupied the city of Veracruz the following day. Mexico officially declared war on France. And this is where the story takes its most unexpected turn. A retired general named Antonio López de Santa Anna, who at this point had already been president of Mexico twice and lost both times in spectacularly dramatic fashion, had been living quietly in his estate near Veracruz. He had been effectively in political exile. When the French attacked, Santa Anna came out of retirement and rode into battle personally to defend the city. During the fighting, a French cannon blast tore apart his lower left leg. The leg had to be amputated. Santa Anna had his leg formally buried with full military honors. He then wrote a dramatic letter to the Mexican nation saying he hoped the loss of his leg would be proof enough of his dedication to Mexico and asking to be remembered as a good citizen. The Mexican people, who had largely forgotten about him, immediately started talking about him again. British diplomats eventually stepped in and brokered a peace deal. Mexico agreed to pay France the full 600,000 pesos. France withdrew its forces in March 1839, so Mexico paid every single peso France demanded, including the 60,000 for a bakery worth less than 1,000. The war lasted less than 5 months and achieved essentially nothing except giving Santa Anna a martyrdom story and a missing leg. He used both to eventually claw his way back to the presidency of Mexico, multiple more times. The Pastry War is remembered today as one of the most absurdly disproportionate conflicts in modern history. A baker exaggerated a compensation claim. A king saw an opportunity. 10 warships appeared. A leg got buried with full honors. And Mexico paid for all of it. Did you know about the Pastry War before this video? Let me know in the comments.